Greetings. Peace and blessings be upon you. Thank you for joining the Greater Jihad, Overcoming You. I'm your host, Paul McCoy. There are a million and one other things that you could have been doing today, so it is an honor for me to share my time with you. I want to give you a little brief overview about me and why it is that I decided to do this type of a program and to invite you on this journey to overcoming you. Again, my name is Paul McCoy, and I'm a licensed clinician. In my day-to-day life, I help America's veterans, and I also work in the community for a wraparound service. In my daily activities, I help people to overcome, learn coping skills, and how to deal with their diagnosed mental health or behavioral health issues. In my journey of helping people overcome what's ailing them, I found that not everybody needs a clinician, but everyone could use some coaching and encouraging. With this program, because of what I've learned in my journey in helping people, what I want to do is to help you to develop a program that will have you take an in-depth look at who you are, what it is that you want to become, and what are some of the things that are holding you back from being that person that you want to be. Sometimes in living life, we look at things that it has to be this way. This is the only way that it can be. So in my journey, what I found is that that's a fallacy, and we buy into that fallacy. And if we were to remove ourselves from those fallacies, from the narratives that we've created that are not true narratives, from the negative self-image that we've given to ourselves that not everyone else looks and sees us as, if we're able to eliminate that, we ourselves will be able to overcome us and overcome those things that hold us back from living the type of life that we want to live. So let me give you an example about what I'm talking about when it comes to a negative narrative. So when I was in high school, my mother had a brown car. It was a Cougar. And this car gave my mom's problems, and she decided that she was going to go out and get a new car. So as she was preparing to get the new car, I said to myself, wow, mom's just going to go get this new car, and I am going to have me a car right now. But my mother went and she traded the car in. When she came back with a new car, she thought that I would be excited. I was excited because we had a new car, but I didn't say anything to my mother about it. Fast forward almost 30 years later, I'm in school and I'm learning how to become a counselor. I'm going through my MSW program. And one of my assignments in my MSW program was for me to go and speak to my parents and talk to them about things that bothered me when I was a child. To be able to confront them so that I can confront me, so that I can become the best me I could be. And also so that when I'm doing counseling with other people, I'll know what it feels like to have to ask the difficult questions and to look at myself in the most critical or objective way I possibly could. So I went to my mother and I asked her, I said, Mom, remember when I was in high school on my way to college and you had this Cougar? I thought that you was going to give me the car. I was really upset about that. My mother said to me, and she began to laugh, and I'm like, well, why is my mother laughing at me? She said, son, let me tell you something. Let me be completely honest with you. She said, when you were in high school and you were helping me out with this car, you never realized that this car was giving me all types of problems. I wouldn't give you my problem. Sometimes I would go out to crank up the car, and when I turned the key, the car wouldn't even crank. Why would I give you my problems? The narrative that I had for almost 30 years was that my mother didn't care enough about me to give me the car. That was a false negative. That was a false narrative. And because of that false narrative, it kind of dealt with my psyche. How many false narratives do you have concerning yourself, your upbringing, and how it is that people see you and how it is that you see yourself? In this program, I want to show you how to go about creating a plan, creating a strategic plan, not just any plan, but a strategic plan on how to begin to have the difficult conversations with yourself, about how to put people around you that are going to be able to help you do the things that you want to do to become the most successful you that you could possibly be. Now, in this program, there are a few things that I want you to always have. Every time that a video comes up, make sure you have 3 things. Number 1, come with an open mind. An open mind that has objectivity at the top of its priority list. Number 2, you need a pen. Number 3, you need a pad. Why do you need this pen and this pad? The reason you need it is because whenever someone's talking to you about something and it begins to resonate with you, it tickles the brain and it makes you think about things that happened to you in your past. And now that you're thinking about things that's happening to you in your past, you could write those things down and you could ask yourself later, how did this affect me? Not only that, but in this journey that I'm going to ask you to join in with me as we move forward to overcome ourselves, you want to know, where do I see growth? Where have I regressed? What is it that I can do differently in order to become that best me that I could possibly be? Overcoming you. Now, if you saw the first video that I did, you'll recognize the story that I gave. And I want to give just a little more context to that story so that you can understand truly what it means to overcome you. I mentioned that the Prophet Muhammad had come from an expedition of war. And one of his companions said to him, "O Messenger of God, you have just completed the biggest struggle, the struggle against self." Pardon me. He said, "O Prophet of God, you have just completed the biggest struggle, the struggle against man." One group had one ideology, another group had another ideology. They went to war for whatever reason, and the companion felt like this was the great jihad because I want to forward my ideology on someone. The Prophet said, "No, that is not the great jihad. That is not the great war. That is not the holy war. The holy war is the war that you have to wage against yourself on a daily basis." From the religious point of view, it is, how can I be the best Muslim or the best Christian or the best Jew or the best Buddhist or whatever it is that I try to be? Am I living up to the tenets? Am I praying? Am I giving in charity? Am I exemplifying what it is that this religion says that I'm supposed to exemplify? For me, am I getting up every morning to pray? Am I fasting during the month of Ramadan? It's a struggle to do that. Am I reading my word? Am I helping my neighbor? It's a struggle to do that. In this sense, as far as your own person, have I given myself the best opportunity to win? Have I improved my skill set? Have I put people around me who are going to help me? Have I really taken an objective look at who I am? How do I deal with criticism? So just as an exercise to show you what we're going to do and how it is that we're going to do it, I want to give you a word. And that word is criticism. And throughout this series, what you'll find is the people who were the influencers or my greatest influences, I'm going to reference them the most. So my greatest influences are my grandparents, my parents, my siblings, teachers along the way, the religious books that I've read, and just life in general. So as a child, my grandmother used to talk to us about criticism. And my grandmother used to say, "Son, if you don't have nothing good to say or positive to say, don't say nothing at all." I live up to that. But what I did realize is that with my grandmother, she she helped me to understand that there were two types of criticism. There was the criticism or critique that helps, and there's a criticism or critique that doesn't. Which one are you receiving? So, how do you handle what people have to say about you is going to determine how you internalize things and how it is that you move forward. So I'll give you an example. Someone comes and they say to you, hey, you know what? In your video, you could have edited this a little bit and you could have had a better looking shirt on. Your lighting could have been better. If I internalize that and I say, hey, these people are just jealous. They don't care nothing. They don't know nothing about what it is I'm doing. I'm right where I need to be. Then I'm looking at that as a criticism to hurt me. But did that person truly intend to hurt me? Or did that person give me that information to try to help me? I have to discern if that's the case or not. But if I was to internalize this thing and say, hey, you know what? Let me ask this person what they mean by I need better lighting. I could have a different shirt. Let me talk to them about what they had to say about me so that I'll know where they're coming from. And maybe it's constructive criticism so that the next time I come online, I can be better me. But if I don't do that and I internalize it and I think that I'm already perfect and I can do what it is that I need to do, then I'm not going to grow. It takes a while for us to change. If we've been doing something 15, 20, 30, 40 years, it's not going to change overnight. But maybe the reason why you hadn't reached the heights that you wanted to reach is because you hadn't learned how to have that difficult discussion with yourself, to look at yourself in the most objective way. And through this program, this is what we're going to do. Now, during the next program, I'm going to talk about this word criticism again. And I'm going to talk about how it is that you pull people around you who are going to be your best advocates, your best supporters, and they're going to help you walk through along with this program to get you to a point to where when people tell you something that you may have perceived earlier in life as negative, how you can look at it and see it as something positive. Now, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, not everyone needs a clinician, but everyone could use some coaching and some encouragement. Look, we all go through this greater struggle. That struggle to overcome the self. Thank you for joining me. I hope that what I've given to you is beneficial. If it is beneficial, click that subscribe button, like it, and share it with your friends. And hopefully, at the end of this whole process, you'll be able to say that I have attacked the greater struggle, I've become victorious, and I overcame me. The greater struggle, overcoming you. Thank you very much. Please enjoy your day. Peace and blessings be upon you.